changes unless the mind changes. So if you still thinking like you was thinking last year, coming into the next year, guess what you're gonna get at the end of 2020? The same thing you wanted at 2019, because nothing really changed. Your ideas may have changed, but your mind didn't change with the ideas. So a lot of people will say, well, if I just do this, my life will be different. Only to find out that no matter where you go, you're taking you with you. You may get rid of all the old friends and everybody else, but you're still going to be who you are because your mind didn't change. They say to know whether or not you are insane or not, here's your first test. Keep doing the same thing and hoping you're going to get a different result. And most people, believe it or not, they want everything to change outside of them so it can change inside. But see, it happens inside you first, in your world, because we want the world to love us. But that doesn't happen until you bring love into your world, where you live. I know it's kind of easy for us, man. Pray God pour peace out in the whole world. Well, he can't do that till you pour it in your world. Okay, so if he can't put in your world what you're looking for out in that world, then you're really praying in vain, because first thing he's going to do, he's going to come to you to change your world. If he can't change your world, you're not going to change this world. Because the part of people talking about being a witness, again, being a witness unto God is not about what you tell them you said God said, but being a witness unto him means that you are testifying unto him what he's brought in your world. We can't get out and talk about peace and then we got hell going on in our life. If there's peace, then we got peace. Then what I'm going to represent is peace. When you see me, I'm representing peace. I don't care how much chaos you got going on. It will not negate what's in me. Have you ever said this like this? They made me mad. I thought God is the one made you. I said I thought it was God that made you, and you told me they're making you now. So you're looking at another creator in your life to create madness in you. And how do you do that? Because if God is the one making you, how did somebody else make you? It's simple stuff. Just throw it out there. Well, I just thought throw it out there, let you chew on that a little bit. Because see, a lot of our stuff right now has nothing to do with God whatsoever. It's about us coming to terms with what he says versus what we think he said. But you're not, see, I've narrowed this thing down because what I heard back in the 80s and 90s, we got upset when people would pray that sinner's prayer. Do you accept the Lord Jesus Christ as your personal Savior? Well, even though we say the right thing sometimes, we don't do the right thing with it. Now that in itself really just caused me to get all kind of burning in the feet up to the neck kind of stuff. You got to do more than accept Jesus as your personal Savior. But the problem was, if they really did do what they say they were doing, not only them, but us who fought against it. We got baptized in his name, got filled with the Holy Ghost, but we still have not accepted him as being our personal. See, it's hard for me to tell them about a Savior that's not personal to me. You don't know how they can be saved until you really get saved. And there's a lot of things he's going to save you from. Number one thing he got to save you from, you think it's the devil, but it's you. If God can't save you from yourself, you're doomed. Okay? So the first thing he's going to do, he ain't coming We got all these things. Well, God saved me from sin. If he haven't saved you from yourself, you still operating in sin. Because anything that's not of faith, well, that's not my lesson, but that's just kind of introduces us to something. Because once again, I'm really coming down to my wire, end of my track. Oh yeah, end of my journey. Here, I realize that. I don't try to fight the feeling. I mean, it's going to happen. You know, it's one thing I learned about life. You're guaranteed to leave here if you come. So I already know that. I ain't fighting that. But it's not a matter of what I'm going to leave. It's a matter of how I leave here. I don't want to get out of here and having to introduce myself to Jesus that I didn't meet while I was here. If you're backing up now, you're probably really going to be backing up then. If I'm not making myself available now, see, if I'm not living in his presence now, it's going to be like I know some of y'all never fish, but some of us who are fishing know that once you take a fish out of water, he'll live a while, but he'll be jumping. He cannot maneuver right. He's just jumping all over the place. And I believe that if we're in the presence of God, if we haven't learned how to live in his presence now, I don't see how you can do it later. I don't see how, if you are not enjoying God now, because he's giving you his very best, and you tell me you can't enjoy him now, then there's something wrong with this experience. If you tell me you're waiting for one day when you're really going to be happy, you know what that means? You ain't got him yet. He ain't saved you yet. Because in him is all these things you've been waiting on, looking for. Well, that went quiet. Well, you know, man, I can't wait till I get over yonder so I can have me a catfish pond and a jacuzzi and everything. Let me just say you this here now. Enjoy your jacuzzi now, because you won't need one there. And if your mind is so literal that you are thinking that one day I'm going to go and get all the things that Jesus came to die to give me, but I didn't want it then. I didn't want his peace. Right? You didn't want any of that. Because you kept trying to create your own. We got sidetracked and distracted. We went into life as problem solvers instead of being promise keepers. We went into this life, every time we got a problem, guess who we want to work it out? Guess who's trying to work it out? Guess who got all the answers? I swear, we own it. Man, I got a problem. I got a problem. I got a problem. Have you ever realized that if you had a problem, you probably got a promise too? Have you ever thought about maybe your problem was sent to help you see your promise? And instead of you spending all your energy trying to correct something that you can't correct, you can't do anything about, nothing about it. Yes, I can. I can help myself. You've been helping yourself. Look how messed up you are now. Now, how's that working for you? I know we read that somebody told us, it was in the Bible. God helped those. It's not in there. No, we said it all. Man, you know, God helped those that helped themselves. That's not the Bible. Because he said it just different. He said, if you come to me, you got to deny yourself. So how can you be denying yourself, helping yourself at the same time? So part of my salvation is if God, he got to save me from me. I'm my worst enemy. It's not, I know. I hate to say this because people go crazy. Man, are you telling me ain't no devil? Well, I'm going to tell you what. The devil that you are afraid of, your Savior conquered him. But the one he didn't conquer was you. And you do more against him than for him. Even when you think you're doing for him, you're really working against him. God doesn't need your help, but you do need his. All right? You need his, but he don't need yours. And in our minds, we get to think, boy, God, I got to help God out. God has never called you to help him out. He would have called, if you was that smart, he'd have called you in the beginning. Come here, Keller, help me make this world. Now, let me give you a secret. He didn't let me in on none of that. Because if he did, Kelly would be looking different today. I would have gave you some pointers how to make a better Kelly. See, I know how I would love to be in my mind. See, I would be unforgettable. Ageless man. I lived through generation after generation, being the epitome of humanity. But he didn't ask me. And last I read, he ain't been asking nobody what he should do. Have he? Anybody? Been asking y'all? Well, what kind of God is this ain't asking us what we think? Huh? Don't you get offended by that? Don't you really? You so say no, but we do. We get mad because God hasn't asked us what we think. And so what we want to do is to tell God what we think. You know, God, you see this here. Now you know this ain't right. Do he? I know, but you're telling him he don't know what's right. Now you know this ain't right. What's going on, Lord? You know this ain't. Don't you go on like that? Yeah. Now, you're telling him what he already knows. He'd never come and counsel you to say, now, are they treating you okay? You doing all right? You got your light bill money today? No. He ain't never asked me none of that. Because he makes me either believe or don't believe. It's not either I need to quit quoting them scriptures about all things working together. Because he kind of closes the door on everything you're going to complain about. Isn't it strange? We'll sit there, man. You know what the Bible says? All things. That's when we done gave up hope on our plans. That's when we done lost hope in our planning sessions, when we done plan, analyze it, and fail. And then when it fails enough, then we finally say, you know the Bible say all things work together for good to them that love God. Well, to them that love God. Now, how many things have you seen in the all thing that didn't work like you thought it should? Whole bunch of them, right? Yeah, you because there's these little dots you got to connect. All things are working together for the good to them that love God and are the called according to yours. So what is yours? Yours is his. And his become yours. But you know what? See, that don't work good. That don't work good. Because we don't see all things until you are able to flat-footed, wholeheartedly believe that. You're going to always be close to nervous breakdown and frustration, being upset, no peace, and you can't sleep good at night because what's working seems to be working against you. And you cannot see how it could ever be working for you. Yet all the while, you're telling me what somebody else made you do. And what's bad when the Creator who made you, can't make you do. And then we say he's our Savior, but he can't save us enough for us to do him. Hebrews. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which does so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that's set before us. Do you feel like you're in a race? Do you see what's before you, though? Because, see, some people in a race, they don't even know where the roadway is. They're just running. And they're running without purpose. Even in Romans, I think it talks about all run, only one receive a prize. Sometimes we're running without destination and purpose. We just here. You know, some people think that just if I just be a good person and make my own racetrack and get on my little hurdles and things that I'm okay. No, he has a purpose for everybody in the race. He makes it look like when he says only one can receive the prize, you got to look at your race as that. The other ones may be in the same race, but only you're going to get the prize in yours. That's it. It's up to you to finish the course in which he said that. Like Paul said, you know, I finished my course. The many of us don't even know what the course is. Well, Paul said, I finished mine. I'm ready to be offered up. I think I've come to the end of my course. I'm ready to be offered up. Many of us don't know what the course is. We don't know God's purpose. And I believe with all my heart, part of the reason why we're so lacking in faith is because, first of all, we don't have a purpose. We really don't have a purpose. We're still vacillating over, why did God call me? We're still amazed at stuff like this, man. Of all the people in the world, God called me. Well, that's good. But what did he call you to? I was telling Brother Thornton in the office, most time people feel the call of God and God calls them. And we'll stand and testify how he called us out. And we've been out ever since, but we ain't never got in. Let me say it one more time. See, a lot of people called out. That the church in itself means the called out ones. But he didn't just call you out. He called you to something. And if you're still just hanging out on that testimony, boy, he called me out of the world, you're probably still hanging out. And you're still bothered by the things of the world. And you're still, your emotions are still attached to things of this world. But if he called me out, he didn't just call me out. He called me out with destination in mind. That means he's going to call me into something and not just out of something. For God knows that no person can operate in a vacuum. God knows that no matter how you try to isolate, nobody operates in a vacuum. So he's not just going to call you out so you can spend years and years and years of empty semantics and empty performances, and somehow you're supposed to keep making those performances better. That never gets better. No, we look for another service that got us more excited than the last one. Looking for the one conference that seemed to be more spiritual than the last conference. We're always searching, seeking, trying to find that place of satisfaction. Everybody is wanting to be satisfied, but we don't know where to go to get satisfied. We heard that Jesus was going to be the satisfaction, but we can't have Jesus without something else. It's okay, Jesus. You make me happy, but I need something to make me a little bit more happier than just Jesus. Let that roll around in your mind, because I know what you're thinking. No, all I need is Jesus. No. You know, that's good when you don't need it and you say that. It's when a lot of times when you got it all together, you're feeling good, car running good, and everything happening good in your life, so you think you got all the God you need. You know what's really strange? Is that God never wants to be put out of a job in your life. See, we say that, man, I got everything I need, everything you need. But you have everything he needs. See, a lot of stuff I think I need, he don't need. 99.9% of the junk I got, he don't even need. But I need 100% of everything he got. And so if you're only living in this world and you're only trying to get your worldly needs met, you're going to be, as Paul said, if I only have hope in this world, guess what you are? You're a miserable creature. I shouldn't say it like that. That sounds too. But we're miserable. If I think my hope is coming from this world, I am one miserable person. I'm setting myself up to be miserable. Because everything God wants to give you, you got to come in to get it. You can't hang out and get it. You got to come on in and get it. The born, again, you hear me say this all, one of the greatest parables in the Bible is the prodigal son parable. You can't get everything God wants you to have working in the barn. You can't even get a good conversation with God. Because number one, the Bible said God, a servant, never knows what the master do. So you're going to always be at somebody else's mercy knowing what the Father does. See, he's not looking for people to work in his barn. He's looking for people that'll sit around his table. People that'll be in his house. And when I say be in his house, it's really be in the heart of God, period. Because it's there that you receive the things that he has for you. You know, the prodigal son that came back, look how much more he got than the servant. That dude's servant didn't even get a killed calf. And he didn't want to eat it either. You know why? He, like most people today that wants to be a servant and not a son, is that he wanted to earn his keep. Father said, you've been with me all these years. At any time you could have asked for it. But when you have the mindset of a servant, you always feel like you don't deserve what he's getting. That's like a lot of people in blessing. We don't mind getting really blessed when we have earned it. I remember one time I put my foot in my mouth so bad. And I'm going to tell you, because I really felt like everything I was getting from God, I had earned it. I did. I remember sitting, because, you know, as Paul said, I was glorying in my folly. You know, I got up, preaching faith, man, gun-ho, and real regimental. I ain't saying it was wrong. I believe God needed to bring me that way so I can see the way. Amen. Everything you've been through, it wasn't to destroy you. You're supposed to learn from. But I remember sitting here, and I felt really good because I had a lot of preachers around me, and they were saying, yeah, I need to keep my job so I can keep my benefits and you know, get my retirement and all that. And, man, I'm preaching faith. You know what I'm saying? I remember, so I need to get up on that, get one up above that. But I didn't just do stuff. But I felt God impressed me to do some things, so I quit my job. Well, that made me a little bit better than most of the guys who was working and trying to preach. Here we go. I love to tell y'all the truth, but I felt like I had stepped up in faith a lot greater than the other guys around me. Because they was all telling me, man, I was you, I wouldn't do that. But I did it because I felt impressed to do it. And I did it. Went straight in the hole. Crashed and burned. Boom. And you know what was going on in my mind? I wish. I kept telling myself, man, you have really messed up. Because no sooner as I did that, everybody went crazy on me. And I'm out here with nobody but Jesus. People I thought that believed would tell me stuff like, man, I don't know about that. I don't know whether I do that or not. But all these people wanted to have faith in God. They acted as though God was a new CO in this new 20th century business ordeal we're in. See, I was kind of dumb because I really believe that everything he said, he meant. I found out that a lot of people read the same Bible. They heard what he said, but they didn't believe that he meant everything he said. I'd have people come to me telling me, well, Brother Wilson, you know God gave us common sense. That sounds really good if I thought it worked. Common sense will work in your world. Now, it will. Don't get me wrong. I do believe everybody needs to have some common sense. That's what we lack today, just common sense. But I will tell you this here, when God saved you, he didn't want to give you no more common sense. He wanted to give you some divine sense. But what we want to do is operate in God using common sense. We analyze it. Well, if God, since he, I don't know where to go with this, I better quit. But we use common sense like, well, if God didn't want me to have this car, he'd fix it so I couldn't get it. You know what I found out? He never asked me what kind I wanted. I went and bought a brand new car one time. Never going to do it again, though. Because I thought he liked new ones better. That was 7 years of marriage. Cost me more than my wife. And I said, I didn't even pay that much for her. I made a $25 investment in my wife, and I got a card here. I'm embarrassed because I had to show her more love than my wife. Kept my attention. But I said, I didn't ask. I used common sense. Now, here's what I came up with. I'm making a lot more money now. That makes sense. I got a lot more money now. Makes sense. I let this guy show me how much money I really had if I bought this car. That made sense. Everything he showed me says, oh, well, look, all the money you got left over. Yeah. There's a lot of things I didn't factor in, though. The car is not eternal. And see, I can buy my wife a new pair of shoes. I ain't even got to get them but once a year. But this car I got to go and deal with her every month. $700 some. Man, she was a beautiful date at first. Have you ever felt like you hated something that just stayed too long? So anyway, it's coming back to the grassroots. God ain't trying to give you common sense. He's trying to give you divine sense. Let that mind be in you. Did you think he put a common sense mind in you? Huh? Do you think Jesus came all the way from heaven to give you common sense? He gave you that from the start. And we ain't been too good with that. You understand? Even with common sense, we ain't done too good because even working out common sense is definitely messed us up. Because in common sense, it's just common among men. God want to give you something above the thinking of man. He even tell you, set your affection. Oh, no, he didn't. You think he meant that? Well, why is it then that I ain't going to look? I ain't going to see y'all face on this. Where do you think your affection's at right now? Don't tell me. Don't tell no. I don't even want you to tell nobody. But your affections, and look, I'm a realist too. I like nice things. I like good food. And you name it, I like it. If it's nice, I like it. But I'm not affectionate with it. Only time I love a steak is when I got one. When I ain't got one, chicken to do. Huh? Chicken to do. You know, my affection, I ain't never eat that. I don't eat that. No, see. Your affection is in the wrong place. See, that's why the Bible says, eat whatever, set, and ask no questions. Well, what's in it? Eat what's set before you. Ask no questions. Well, I don't know whether I like that or not. Eat what's set before you. You know what I'm saying? See, some scriptures we don't like. We don't like the ones that we've been able to put common sense to and make them fit. And so and if you really did believe what he said, then you're going to do what he said because you're only going to become when you do what he says. Do not think God is going to violate himself to make your life what you want it to be when he's already created you to be what he wants you to be. You cannot, as a clay, tell God, I can't believe you made me like this. I can't believe all the things. Why you made me like this? I should have been this. No. You are who you are. And you need to say what Paul said. I am what I am by the grace of God. Some people want to be somebody else. Everybody's got a hero but Jesus. They want to be somebody else, act like somebody else, talk like somebody else. I told you I can put Michael Jordan shoes on, but I ain't Michael Jordan. All right? I ain't even trying to be him. See, my son, he's growing up. He told me, Dad, I need some Jordans. I said, well, what is it going to do, son? It's going to make you jump higher? You going to be able to play basketball better? Yeah, Dad, I believe I can play better. I can get up higher. So I went and bought him some cheaper shoes, show him how high he could jump with them. So that's high enough, son. You ain't got to get no higher than that. See, because I was not. He was never going to be Michael Jordan. All right? Even though your shoes may say it, but you ain't. Man, this is what everybody else is doing. I don't even care what everybody else is doing. You know where I live? I live right here. My wife was the same way when I married her. She wanted to really impress other people. I told her, I said, you got the wrong dude. I am way too raw and unrefined. I remember buying our first dining room set, $35. I thought she'd be happy. She said, what are we going to do with this? I said, we got 6 chairs. I said, one of them is yours. I can't invite nobody over here like this. You know what I said? If you don't want to come to my house because of my dining set, you don't have to come back. But I'm going to eat at this here. She said, hey, well, I understood. She came from a better place than I came from. I'm just trying to get started. I don't see one thing I don't want you to do or anybody else to do. You're not here to impress nobody. If you're not impressing God, you ain't impressing nobody. And I believe if you impress him, he'll show you how to impress others, but not like that. No. So the Bible said, let me keep going. Looking unto Jesus, the author. No, we need to start there first. Because if you don't think he began it, you ain't going to believe he can finish it. All right? See, most people forgot that he was the author. So what happened is that you go out and say, man, I'm trying to have faith in God. You don't try to have faith if he starts it. The reason why you feel like you are trying to have faith is because you haven't recognized he is the author. So where do you go to get it? Where do you go to get faith? You can't go no place but to the one who has faith. If he is the author of faith, then I got to go there to get it. See, we have a disconnect where we want flesh to enjoy the benefits that only the Spirit can enjoy. I said we have flesh that wants to enjoy all the benefits that only the Spirit has. Now, in case you didn't know this, your flesh is never going to let you believe God like you should. Because the Bible says the carnal mind. And yet he tells us that we still walk away. Lord, your prayers probably today is 99.9%. Most of the time it's about your flesh. Lord, I need you to do this. I need you to get this. Lord, I'm praying for this. I'm praying for that. 99.9% of our prayers is all about something making our flesh feel more comfortable. And God is not trying to make your flesh feel comfortable. He's trying to enliven your spirit. Because his baptism doesn't baptize flesh. It baptizes spirit. That which is born of flesh is going to be flesh. If it's not born of God, it's not going to happen. It can't stay. It's going to erode. See, some people think that God gives you peace and then takes it back. I got peace today, ain't got no peace on Monday. See, I used to get every Monday morning, I woke up depressed. I don't care how much good church we had. Every Monday morning, I was so depressed. I done went through those spiritual highs. On Sunday, you get up. And on Monday, you go down. Trying to build yourself up by Tuesday, Wednesday, so you can have Bible study, or Thursday, you back up again. That'll carry you to Sunday. But every Sunday, when I got through preaching, I'll wipe the sweat off my head. Whew. Man, you poured yourself out of there. And I feel all tired, and I get up. My flesh got satisfied because I felt like I'd done a good job. And then I realized that I depleted, didn't get what I should have got. I didn't get energized by his spirit. I was energized because of my performance. And there's one thing I can tell you about a preacher, being one, people can really energize you when you're preaching. Man, they just draw stuff, have you going crazy. They get to hollering, yay, and you get, oh, you got to keep going, and you don't want to quit because they having a good time, you having a good time. But see, after it's all said and done, No matter they come in after such a great time and head home or the restaurant, refuel that tired flesh they just got wore out in church on. But they never got refreshed. Never refreshed their spirit. And if they would have gotten what they should have gotten, a lot of problems you have on Mondays you wouldn't have. A lot of things wouldn't be happening. See, I don't believe God calls us together. We come together and we can have more problems than a centipede will fall on arches and somehow he ain't going to address it. You say, I don't believe God is like that. I don't believe God knows I got a problem. He's just going to let me struggle with it on my own. I don't have that kind of God. A God is not knowing who he is and knowing what he is and what he can do. There ain't no way. Because if I got a child out there right now struggling, can't hardly make it, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to help them. All right? As much as I can. And some of them, even when I know I can't help them, guess what I'm still doing? I try to give them a lesson every time they call me about a lifeline lesson. You know, because they tell me every day, man, I got an emergency. Well, what is it? I broke my nail. You broke a fingernail. Yeah, I can't go out like this. You can't, or you don't want to. See, I like to be the Lord in their life. I try to show them what they can live with and what they can live without. I say, I believe God put me there for that reason. Because, see, they don't know what their needs is, just like most of us don't. But, see, God knows my need. See? So I can get down on my knees and pray and tell God all day long what I need. But if I had half things I prayed about right now, we wouldn't need to be here this morning. But he didn't give me those things. You say, God answers all prayers. No, he answers prayers of faith. It's a difference. A lot of our prayers ain't prayers of faith. They're just prayers of fantasies. Prayers about dreams and imagination. And we say, God, I'm your child. I know, and you want to give me good things. And boy, the good thing God give us don't always look good to us. All right? Well, you know, and they say, man, they blessed over here. They blabbing and grabbing and everything coming down. You just believe, just keep repeating. Let me tell you something. You cannot. You can't fake faith. You're never going to be able to fake God out. I don't care how good you say it. Well, I'm telling you what your word said. Lord, your word said. You ain't got to tell God. He ain't got amnesia. The problem is you don't know what it said, and so you're trying to tell God what it said. No, you can't tell him. He wrote the book. And when we realize that, you know, when I go to God, I ain't got to keep reminding him of stuff that he said, because basically I haven't believed what I read he said in the first place. Because if I did, I don't have to remind him. See, my kids know this. Dad gonna feed me. Now, they come to my house right now. They don't have to come in and say, Dad, you gonna feed me? You know you said you're gonna feed me all my life. Them kids have so much faith in me cooking. They don't even come and ask me to cook. They got so much faith in me, they'll ask me a question like, what did you cook, Dad? Not if I'm going to. Not reminding me, Dad, you say you're going to cook for us. You said, no, they already have the faith. I've created that in them. They already know you come to my house, guess what? None of y'all getting in my kitchen, I'm cooking. We should have the same confidence in God like that. I don't need to go and tell God what he did say. I need to believe what he did say and then go in and say, Lord, thank you. I'm coming because I know you. I know what you said you are. I'm going to accept that. I'm going to walk in and accept what you said. Not getting up, oh, God, I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll never, never, never at the mercy of anything or anyone. We live by the mercy of God. And if God can't do it for you, you can look anywhere else you want to in this whole wide world. Focus your attention on one thing. Looking unto Jesus, who is the author. He is the start of your faith. And if he can't start faith in you, he can't finish what he didn't start. If my faith was not started by him, but started on some other stuff that we started faith on, blabbing and grabbing it, if you say it 7 times, you're going to get what you said you're going to get. I hate them Facebook posts coming here, well, if you send this back, you're going to be blessed. No, I'm not. You're not going to send no post on no Facebook talking about sending it to 12 people and God's going to bless you. No, he ain't. No. Chain letters. If God's been good to you, say amen. What does that mean? If he's been good, God is always good. I ain't got to, what I say amen or not, he's still good. And whatever, send you a post back. In case y'all send me one and I don't respond, you know why? I'm just letting you know up front, no, you don't get blessed because you send a post on. You repost it till you turn green. You ain't no more blessed than when you first started. All right? One said, God's going to give you $20,000. I had one $20,000. Just say amen. Well, if that's the case, then he should have said amen because the one that sent me the post ain't got $20,000. Let's just get real. Throw off all this flaky junk and realize one thing. God is real. All right? And he is the author. He is the beginning of your faith. And if he's beginning, he has to be the end. God is not going, I know I've been a brat in my lifetime. And I realized there was a time in my life when I wanted my mama to carry me. But I messed around and got out the pull-ups. And I no longer wanted to be carried. As a matter of fact, I didn't even want her to lead me. I wanted to lead her. You see the little kids now? All of a sudden, for a while there, they be hollering, Dad, hold my hand. Okay. They get about 4 or 5. You go with a hand. I see kids in the store. They got them in a basket or they walking with the car and they're all over the place. I'm going to put you back in the basket. No, no, no. They don't want to be carried. They want their own thing now. They don't want nobody to lead them. And we like Christians, we get in here, know as soon as the baptism of water dries off of us, guess what we don't want? We don't want God to lead us no more. We'd rather tell God, I got this. I can do it myself. And we want God not only let us do it, but let us do it our way. Let me handle this. I know how to better handle it. You don't know anything like God knows. So he said, the author and the finisher. He didn't start something that he can't finish. He gave you the faith that you need, because without it you could never believe. Uh-oh. I said without him giving you the faith, you would never believe. Like everything else in God. If he don't give it to you, you can't get it. See, you can't go to Walmart and buy this stuff on the rollback rack. You can't get it there. You can't get the blue light special on it. If he started it, he's got to put it in you. So most people think because we quit operating from the author standpoint, Because after we get saved, we think after a while we get saved, then it's all on us. I've got to get my faith. And then even when he tell you how to increase faith, you're not doing the things that increases faith. You know, you can't talk doubt and then turn around all the next breath you want to believe. You cannot, you know, either you have faith or you don't. But you cannot all of a sudden, when everything is right, your faith is high. Man, my faith is high. High for what? What are you going to do in that one? Nothing. You know how you know when your faith is really working? Is when it needs to work. You know how God helps you to see where your faith is? He allows things to happen. Do you still believe me for this? No. Got plan B on that one. Why does he keep bringing us to the same place? Why do we keep coming to the same place? Because we didn't learn the first time. And so it's not unlike God. You see, God don't get wore out with you like you get wore out with him. Here we go. I said, God don't get wore out with you like you get wore out with him. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Man, God, I'm just so tired of you putting me through all this. I'm kind of wore out with this. And God just sat back. I'm cool. Go ahead. I'm not wore out at all. Do you know how long he watched them walk around them mountains? For 40 years. Did you know God never got tired one day? Not one day did he get tired. Because if he would have got tired, he could have stopped at any time. But he let them walk themselves. They walked themselves literally to death. Every time they get to a place where they could step, they chose to go back around. Because every time God would show them what they needed to do to get past that, no, man, I've been having too much problem right now, man. That's too tall. They big over there. The devil's is bigger there than he is where I am. Because that's what happened. They said, they got giants over there. They got the chariots over there. Over there is worse than where I am. But I don't believe that anything is worse than going around in the same circle. Knowing that every time you go around that circle, you lost time, energy, strength, and you're still going around the same mountain, having the same problems, having the same arguments. It keeps popping up over and over again. I told myself, I'm through talking and saying the same thing again. One time. Because I realized one thing. If you didn't get it, it's because you probably don't want it. I got to allow God to be in you, who you are. He got to bring you out. I can't. That's not a one of us going to save anybody. Not a one of us was the originator of faith that God gave you. No person can give you more faith at all. Only one can give you more faith is the one who gives faith. And if he can't give it to you, then there must be a problem. Because it's his will that you will grow in faith. It's his will. So if you're telling me today we're still struggling to believe, then evidently we must not be in his will, because it's his will for my faith to grow. I should be able to look back and see where I've been. If I happen to look back, but if you look back and ain't nothing behind you, it means you ain't never moved. I should be able to look and see there are things that God has grown me in. I should see my growth in stuff, spiritually speaking. I shouldn't be, the things that may have made me mad 20 years ago should not be making me mad now. Things that used to get under my skin, Shouldn't be getting under my skin now. Oh, bro, you don't understand. That's just the way I am. I know that's the way you are, but that's why you need to change. Because that's not the way he is. And the last I read, he is trying, I hate to use that word trying, but he says he's going to create and make me into his image. And now one of y'all here knows what he looked like. So then I'm at the mercy of God to create me in his likeness and in his image. I wish God did wear back rack suits. I could look like him quick. But he don't. I wish somehow that I could give you the image. But I don't think the image he wants to give us is what's seen through our skin. The image he wants to give us resonate out of our heart called his spirit. If we met everybody with his spirit, not ours, because we got conflicts in our flesh. We got conflicts, a lot of conflicts in our flesh. Sometimes we don't like ourselves, sometimes we do. But I know we have a lot of conflict with other people because they ain't like us. They don't like what I like. You know, she likes purple. I don't like purple. Why do we get upset because somebody likes something different than we do? You ever notice that? We get totally bent out of shape. Try to change people's mind. Well, I wouldn't buy it from there. I wouldn't buy that. If that's what they want, why can't they have? Why do they have to do what you do? Believe it or not, God didn't put everybody on earth to be like you. Otherwise, he'd have been using this mold. See? But he didn't. I knew he picked me out of the group. See, I knew that. It took me a while to learn that. See, everybody would have bald head just like me. He would have covered all his other mistakes with hair. So, well, here's looking at Jesus, author, finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured. Once again, how do you view what's set before you now? Now, in this scripture here, see that there's a lack of endurance when we don't know what our purpose is. There's a reason to give up when you don't know what your purpose is. But he knew what he was doing was not just doing. He said, for the joy that was set before him. There is a joy that's set before all of us, but there's also sometimes that interception before the joy comes. See, if I really know and I have the revelation of his joy, then whatever's set before me, I can endure it. But if I'm not certain that there's joy on the other side of what I'm enduring, I'm more apt to give up in the middle of something than to endure to the end. And he that endureth until I can't take no more. To the what? To the end? The end of what? The end of the endurance. It even tells you, even after you have suffered how long? Just a while. Then that's something that comes after everything you go through. We don't want to endure and we don't want to suffer, but there is something on the other side of it. But he that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. Enduring. Possess your soul in your patience, in your endurance. Don't lose your soul. God is not a quitter. If he was going to quit, he wouldn't have never started. For this cause have he come. He didn't quit. He could have complained, but he didn't do that either. Because he said, I know what this all is going to produce. In the end, there is a joy after this. There are times when we forget there's another side of through. We forget that. It ain't going to, I know we used to sing all them beautiful songs and all. It won't last. It come to pass. But yet, that's all them things that's good until we get in it. Man, this didn't come to last. It came to pass. And then we in it, though. And we act like what we're in right now is eternal. And there's only one thing in your life that's eternal, and that's what God gave you. His peace he gave you is eternal peace. Don't get it mixed up with your fabricated peace. He didn't give you this time-release love stuff with a switch that turns it on and off. He didn't give you that. It's eternal. That's why his love don't change. He loved you as much before you got here as he does now that you are here. He did not wait to die when you came. Did he? So whatever love he had for you in the beginning, he still got it. Even now. Yeah, but you don't understand, Brother Wilson. I ain't really been everything I need to be. You don't even know what you're supposed to be. How you know what you've been? How you know what you're supposed to be? You still don't know. Well, I know I ain't everything God wants me to be. I believe you are. I believe you everything he wants you to be. Because the only body can change you is him. Let me say this. People say, I know I'm not where God wants me to be. You ever heard that? Y'all probably guilty of saying it too, ain't you? Could I ask you one question though, just one? When you get there, will you know it? I mean, if you got to where you thought you were supposed to be in God, would you know it? Well, then how do you know where you are there? Because most of your breaking down that is based upon what you think and not what God has said. See, you're going to say, man, I just want to do more for God. And wrong. Wrong again. Your problem is that you need to see what he's done for you. And we still don't know what he's done for us. If we could just get off this merry-go-round, this drinking this stupid Kool-Aid and stuff, and realize one thing, what God has already done for you. Man, God don't love me like he used to. I don't believe that. I just don't believe that. I believe God loves me. You know what I'm finding out? I didn't think he could love me more. But he ain't loving me more. You know what I'm discovering? I'm just discovering his love. It's been there all the time. Everything you say that you're working, trying to get to, it's been there all the time. Come on, Dorothy. Click them heels together. You already there. You know, when halfway around the world trying to find Kansas or something, and all you had to do was click your heels. We need some sanctified people start clicking their heels. Okay? The little man behind the curtain. Got you all shook up. Got you feeling like you ain't got a heart. I just said if y'all ever watch TV. Wizard of Oz. You know, I don't know, but we on that Wizard of Oz journey. We're all over the place trying to find something, trying to find a heart, trying to find a mind, trying to find something. And all the while, everything you're looking for is right where you are. It's not in any location. You know that you can go to Tibet if you want to, go up there in the mountains and all that. It ain't there. Mm-mm. Now you can go all these sacred places you want to. You know, you can go to Jerusalem and worship in the Holy Land if you want to. It ain't there. What God has you is just where you are. All right? Just where you sit right now. That you don't get more God because you go to a different place. You don't get more of him like that. You get more of God how you believe God. How much do you want to believe him? How much faith do you want to have? Because only you can stop that. Can't nobody else stop you. Nobody has control over God's faith. Nobody can stop you from believing. But you can listen to others and let them talk you out of it. But see, our problem is that we want instantaneous stuff. There are those times when God does work instantaneously. Boom. But if God takes longer than 15 seconds, that's a microwave dinner there. He got to know we are in a microwave age. Cook my blessing up real quick. Shouldn't take no more than 10 seconds. Right? I mean, who's waiting? I told you, man, God has broke me down so bad, I ain't waited in a line the other morning to get a chicken sandwich. And it was wrapped around the place. But I kept telling myself, you got to learn how. Be patient. Just be patient. And I was saying, this is about to drive me crazy. Then I had to go pick up some people. They said it was ready. I'm sitting out here. And I know they see me waiting. I ain't even honked the horn. And I'm thinking they coming out. I'm sitting there, boy, and Kelly started talking to me. Kelly said, y'all just going to leave them. Kelly was talking to me. He's about to win, though. Because Kelly told me, he said, give him another minute. Well, another minute, they still went out. Kelly was upset. He was highly upset. Whew. But I had to sit there for a minute. Because how many, you know, I see people flying around me all the time now, just trying to get someplace. They don't know where they're going. Rolling all up on my back end, you know. Boy, I was so hot the other day, coming back. Dude just rolling all up on me, as if I'm going to speed up. I didn't let Kelly talk. I let the Holy Ghost move. Be calm. Just drive on slow. You understand? But see, we need to understand some things about God that we're not understanding because we got too many little things that we try to put on God that's really just us. God took care of everything for you. And all he needs you to do is believe that. But can we do it? No. Because Sister so-and-so said, when was the last time you talked to God? Let me put it a different way. When was the last time God talked to you? All right? When was the last time you stopped talking and listened? See, I already know how Pentecostals pray. I've been around a long time. I know how we pray. We don't pray to get answers. We pray to put in the time for prayer, and we don't need no answer. Because if we did, we stay there until we get it. And we're not going to stay that long. Like I said, we're on microwave time now. God, I'm going to give you a 5-minute prayer, but I want $1 million answer. Right? Lord, here I am. I'm busy right now, but Lord, I want you to do it. Lord, I want you to do it. Look here. Why don't we stop for a minute and hear what he's trying to tell us? Because most of our life is messed up because we forgot to hear him. When he was talking, we were talking. How many they used to tell me all the time growing up, it's rude. When somebody else is talking, you be quiet. But when he's talking, we don't hear. Why? I know, once again, Brother Wilson, the Lord, he used different ways of speaking to us, but do you know the way he's speaking to you? Yeah, he is. I believe God talks to us every day. Not always audible. He don't always tell me my Social Security number and all that kind of stuff. But he has so many ways of talking to me. In those simple things. Simple things of life. Just be amazed that you just walk through life. And see, once you become conscious that he lives with you, then you don't worry about it, because then all of a sudden you know that anywhere you go, he's apt to do something, say something. People come, talk to you. You ain't got to preach a sermon. Let him talk to them. Silver and gold, we ain't got none. Well, some of y'all do, Sister Booker, okay. But the rest of us, all we can give is Jesus. Are you trying to give people more than that? Because all you got is Jesus to give. They don't need your problems. They don't need your attitudes. They need Jesus. But we want to go and give them our attitudes, our opinions, and give them Jesus. If they ever going to get up and walk, it ain't going to be nothing you gave them from you. But if you give them Jesus, the miracle you want to see in their life will happen. But we want to have it so that we are able to say, look what I done. Could I tell you, I'm not looking at what I done. My eyesight is still in the same place, looking unto Jesus, who is the author. At the end of this day, ain't boasting on nothing about my faith at all. If I have any faith at all, I got it from him. And if anything ever happens in this life, it's going to be because of him. And I want everything that's born out of my life to be born from that place of faith. All right, questions, statements, anything? I didn't realize the time, man. I was having so much fun. Huh? Okay, we're going part two.